Hello, no speakers. When you think about identity, you think of, well, an imitation of somebody else through your lens. That is how, well, most of humans formulate identity. It is a lexicon, the part of the omnilogon that stems from basically of the echelon of your personality is a personality you could acquire the knowledge of. If you did not have any knowledge of a personality, well, guess what? You're now a Neanderthal. That is the evolutionary theory. Species work together. They can formulate a pretty strong hold on their responses and their reactions and how they should and ought to act. If there was a person that I just got reminded of, there can be people, they are fucking magicians, if you ask me, who can formulate an MP13 file. What does this mean? Well, an MP13 file is basically your consciousness putting little dots at your borders, basically creating a shape of your psyche that you transmit in a non-verbal sense. It is very energetic, but it is also not even energetic because it is so unfelt. It can be very. It's like low vibrations or something like that. Basically, when you think of people who have specific kind of vibrations to them, for example, I know people who have a very grounded, like MP13 files, like very, um, you could say they have a tree in them. They have a, they literally have a stump, and the roots go down to their personality, and the trees that grow are firmly stable. Now, on the other hand, I know people who have a more distorted kind of MP13 files, more like um, they are enacting a specific kind of anger, for example, but they always have a hostility in them, and that hostility is part of their MP13 file, which is very. I critique this even when I was young, but people with that type of consciousness, I know the people who I'm talking about, and they kind of changed, but at the same time, I criticize them on, at least I had the critique in my head, which was basically that I thought of the way that they are promoting or not promoting, the way they are interacting with the identity of their choosing is very insecure. Why? Because you're formulating stability through domination. Formulating stability through domination is cowardice, in my humble opinion. That is why I am an anarchist. And I've seen a lot of people who take this kind of, well, self-examination as whatever I do, I am going to be an oppressive force, even though I enact myself as the one who is against the oppressive force. The fact that there is a necessity for people to have a domineering force over a weaker opponent. I'm sorry, but that shows weakness. And yeah, people are evil. Maybe I should not deal with them. But that was my mind back when I was like fucking what, 15? 14. I was 14. And I had to deal with somebody who is, I don't know, 2 heads bigger than me. I want to have an MP13 file, okay? Point, you could say, of I will not be affected. And that is what I had in my stability. That is what I had in my stability. Patience. Yeah. I had fucking patience. But the real problem is not the MP13 file of, let us say, subversive nature, or nature of domination, or of ineffectiveness. That is like the virtue that I was ascribing myself to, is to ultimately be unaffected. That is my wisdom, you could say. To be not affected. But for some reason, I know that there is another MP13 file that says on the backside of it, that you do not look at, you will not even get the chance to judge me. You will not get the chance to even think of judging me. You will not even get the chance to vocalize what you are feeling. Is it a lesson? Because if it is a lesson, okay. Yeah. You proved their point. When shit hits the fan, you are not ready for fascism or authoritarianism. when shit hits the fan, you are a victim of a greater game. Not a game, but I mean, pretty much government is a game. Now that I think about it, it is grown-ups game. It's telling they're gonna fix the world while also allowing the perpetuation of the capitalist economic system and the state which regulates the citizens but not the capital. Your brains are smart, but I do not want to admit you are right, is basically what they are going to say. And they will cut off that part. You're smart. And they will mask, I know you're right. And then they will probably attack. Look at yourself. And then they will close the gap with the next thing that they see planned for you. You know, MP13 files should be more researched. What are the lines that you inevitably put into your psyche in order to evaluate the world around you? And I will not try to use every means necessary to prove my might. Because that is not right. There, I made a rhyme. Might makes right, that is not right. Might is not right. I would like to leave you off today with a pretty valuable first principle that you can use to help you structure your ethics and epistemology and everything else, which is basically the greatest expression of each and every individual. With each and every individual, you are not allowed, that as the first principle, you're not allowed to subjugate another being. You're not allowed to subjugate a person who is not affecting you in any other way. Goodbye. Thank you.